the evidence.
Catnip, sometimes. Jumping around the street.
Okay, she scratched, maybe she dragged a whole bag of catnip across the living room and left trails of it around the house as if she were Hansel or Gretel leaving breadcrumbs. Okay, so kind of figurative language comparing her to Hansel and Gretel with the breadcrumbs. And one more thing which would make a cat crazy. Think of your cats and what they do when they're really mad or just out of it.
Scratches people.
Okay, she scratches people with her giant claws. Oops. Maybe, how can we describe how sharp her claws are? What's a word we could use to describe how sharp her claws are? Aside from sharp.
Razor sharp?
With her razor sharp. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. In the hospital bills, we had to compensate people for maybe that's kind of awkward, so we might say something like, and we've had to cover way too many guests' hospital bills. Okay, second one. My obese fluffy cat is crazy. She does flips all day long, yet she wasn't losing weight. I couldn't figure it out until I saw her digging into cat food at 2 a.m. She dragged a whole bag of catnip across the living room and left trails of it around the house as if she were Hansel or Gretel leaving breadcrumbs. She scratches people with her razor-sharp claws, and we've had to cover way too many guests' hospital bills. So in this example, we see how we're using way more descriptive language, we're using imagery, and so if you have a prompt, write about a time a pet of yours or a pet, someone you know, went crazy or something like that. Okay, so not entirely realistic, but let's say you get a prompt like that. Then you can describe the cat and show exactly what happened and tell a much more engaging narrative. We'll try one just out loud. The casserole was disgusting. Can someone provide details for that one?
What do you think? Raise your hand. So what a casserole, what could you add to the casserole was disgusting?
Casserole was disgusting. It made me turn green and I was about to throw up.
Okay, casserole was disgusting. It made me turn green and I was about to throw up. What else? Why did it make you want to throw up? What was so disgusting about it?
It was fuzzy.
It was fuzzy. Okay, not a good sign when casserole's fuzzy. It was fuzzy. There were tendrils of green mold stretching out throughout the gluey mass of year-old mozzarella cheese. I am tempted to ask what else, but I think that's sufficient. Okay, so you see how, believe me, with this my room is messy, we got to rat poop in the pillow, so it can get pretty gross with these things, especially when I'm doing it with, like, I don't know. Sometimes 6th graders, even 7th graders can have really disgusting imaginations, so yeah, it's gotten pretty bad. Okay, so you see how, not necessarily so graphic, but adding supporting details to phrases makes it a lot more interesting. Okay, let's review our goals from the rubric. So a rubric is something that you'll be graded by, and this is pretty big language, but this is what they use quite often, is evaluating you by word choice. Use language effectively by exhibiting word choices that are engaging and appropriate for intended audience and purpose. What does this mean, this whole giant paragraph? What does that mean? What does it mean to use language effectively?
About Miss Gruber, what do you think? Put you on the spot. Use language effectively by exhibiting word choices. This talks about word choices that are engaging and appropriate for the intended audience and purpose. I mean, we just talked about it. Want to phone a friend?
Yes.
Look at your phone. Help her out. Look at your phone. Only one person. Dan, go ahead.
It means like use language to describe the topic and make it seem like make the audience understand it better.
Yeah, exactly. So when you think about it, even though this looks like a whole lot of big words and stuff, it's really not that hard to do. It's basically just not being Dick and Jane. It's being more interesting. It's not being repetitive. It's using specific words and explaining words that people may not know. For instance, if you're if you have an Italian grandmother and you go over to her house for Sunday brunch or something, and she always makes this really nice Italian dish, but nobody who's not Italian knows what exactly what it is. So you would have to explain. Okay, let's say it's, I don't know, everyone knows what ravioli is or something like that. But think of that if you have a term, let's say that it's only a word that your family uses, or it's a really special dish, or it's a weird kind of exercise equipment, you have to explain those things. So not only not being repetitive and using specific words, but also explaining words that your audience might not understand. Write for your audience, explain who or what you are talking about. So Annie, my friend from down the street, rode around the corner on her BMX racing bike. For dinner we ate milanesa, the Mexican version of chicken fried steak. So defining key terms that people may not know. And tip number 4 is to make a point. What do I mean when I say make a point?
Don't just keep going on about something, get to what you're gonna say.
Exactly. Don't just keep going on about something. Have you ever had an experience talking to someone and they're like, I have to tell you the most interesting thing that ever happened to me. You know, it blows my mind how amazing the experience was. It was just incredible. You have never seen anything like it. It was so amazing. I am just completely in awe over what happened. And you're like, get to the point. What happened? What was the experience? You don't want your writing to be a whole lot of rambling and off topic, because just like a person who keeps on telling you about how amazing something was without actually telling you what it was, you want to make a point. Interesting writing makes a point. In order to create powerful writing from prompt, you need to turn your topic that you got from the prompt into a point or main idea. So your prompts, writing prompts, you've actually gotten a lot of work done for you. They've given you your topics. You don't have to really do a lot of thinking about what is my topic. You take their question, who is your role model, and you take it and you make it in your point. My role model is blank, and you make that your main idea. For instance, topic idea of squirrels, I could say flying squirrels make great pets, and then my topic sentence would be flying squirrels make great pets because they are intelligent and entertaining. So in this example, it's also very similar to the high scoring one that I showed you about the role model. And so this one, it's doing very well at making a point. As far as her role model, she said, out of the many reasons I could have chosen her, Amelia Earhart, for, I picked the following. She never gave up her dreams, succeeded in her dreams, and showed America and many other countries that a woman can do a man's job. So she has an introduction, and then she says, this is my point. I chose Amelia Earhart because of this. That's my main point. So effective writing, when you look at it, always makes a point and so make sure you're writing answers to who, what, when, how, or why of the prompt topic. And reread, revise, and proofread your prompt response to catch mistakes.
What sentence is that point made in? If you had to pick one sentence in the whole essay that you really make your point and say, this is who I chose because
Thesis.
your thesis statement, that's what she's talking about. Making sure you have that thesis that answers your prompt.
Yes. When you think about it, it's really, you get a prompt and you can just think of it as if someone were asking you a question. Your mom or dad is asking you, well, what do you think about, is television good for kids? Is it bad for kids? Is it educational? And you're like, well, I think that television has many quality educational programs and that it's good for kids because blank, blank, blank. For instance, Cyber Chase teaches young children basic arithmetic skills or something like that. So you have your main point. Television can be good for kids, and then you support it with your details about here's a program that's great for kids, here's another program that's great for kids. So think of a prompt as basically someone asking you a question and wanting to get your opinion or your story or your essay. So, what are some prompts that you guys have had on your state test?
Do you remember last year, or even from Acuity? Maybe one we've done.
That lions,
Lions, yeah.
The lions and tigers and spiders.
I'm sorry?
Okay. What was that question? Do you remember?
Wait, she didn't hear. It's called it was about spiders collecting their food, how they did it.
Okay, how spiders collected their food. So I'm assuming this was one where you were supposed to inform. It was like an expository one.
Yeah.
What they're talking about is they had to read a story, and in the story it gave a lot of details about how spiders collected all of their food, different spiders, and they had to use that information to make an essay, inform people.
Okay, that's interesting. That's another skills also. Yeah, I'd forgotten that they. So this was part of your writing test and not reading, or
That would have been reading.
that was in reading. Okay, yeah, I was about to say. That's interesting because a lot of ones you have to do a lot of writing in the reading section quite often. So I've always thought it was funny how they titled them. But yeah, so for instance, when you look at a story and you take the information from that and you put it in your and you have to restate it in some way. So you don't want to just kind of copy and paste to use computer terminology, but you want to actually look at the information and present it in probably a new way, so that you're not just copying every word for word. Now, what are some other questions or what are some prompts that you think you might have or that have come up on recent tests?
About school uniforms.
What
What's a possible prompt that you could have about school uniforms?
Like, do you want that?
state or
Whether you're for or against school uniforms. What could you have to inform somebody about? What's a prompt that you would know a lot about that you could inform somebody about?
Like what they're like, or
What they're like. Where are we right now?
school.
If you had an essay about what is the best program at Susquehanna Community School District, could you pick one and tell them about it?
Yes.
You can inform them on the different programs that we have. Or you could persuade them on which one is the best program.
So
Are we there?
Yeah, there's a lot of different. When you look at a prompt, and you'll likely get a few different kinds of prompts. That there might be some narrative ones, there might be some persuasive ones, there might be some expository ones. And so you can be prepared for all of them by reading the prompt and understanding what the purpose is. And that will really win you half the battle, just by understanding what are they asking, how can I answer the question. So I want to quickly show a list of, this is just a list of sample prompts that I found online. It's not from state tests, but it's sample writing prompts for middle and high school. And so one of them is, let's see, okay. Your principal has asked students to suggest a school rule that should be changed. Think of one rule that you would like to have changed. Write a letter convincing your principal that this rule should be changed. Be sure to support your opinion with convincing reasons and evidence. Oh, sorry, you can't really see that. But okay, so what kind of writing would that be then? Persuasive, expository, narrative. Suggest a school rule and convince the principal why that should be changed.
Yeah.
Persuasive.
Persuasive. Okay, so someone suggests a school rule they think should be changed.
The rule about chewing gum in school.
Okay.
I knew that.
Yeah, I know that everyone hates that. But okay, so now you can't just walk up to your principal and say I don't like that we can't chew gum in school. Again, you have to support it. So what would you say to support this idea? We shouldn't not be allowed to chew gum in school. It says to support it with convincing reasons and evidence. So what is your convincing reasons and evidence?
I'm your principal. What do you want to tell me? Why should you chew gum? John?
it helps us focus.
Okay, what else? Henry?
It helps prevent cavities.
It helps prevent cavities.
Some types do.
Okay, what else? Michael?
Gives us something to do when we're bored.
I can't hear you.
Gives us something to do when we're bored.
Gives you something to do when you're never bored in school. What are you talking about? What else? What else did you put? Sam? Keeps you from talking during class? Okay. Rubric?
You put some chewing out of things.
Okay, we hope so.
Okay, so why don't we list our most compelling reasons? So number 1 would be it helps us focus. Okay, so we'll write focus. Number 2 would be oral health. So it promotes the health of our mouth, presumably, and it keeps our breath from smelling bad. So you could say, it's really good for our teeth. We won't get cavities, or I mean that's sort of debatable, but yeah, you could say that. And what's number 3?
What Sam said, it keeps us from talking.
It
Keeps you from talking during class.
Okay. So just like that, you look at a prompt, you're like, okay, here's my 1, 2, 3, you've got it, and you start writing. It's really pretty simple. If you want, you can do a web. You can explain, helps us focus, a study from, if you have studies on hand or if you really memorize the name of the study. I think there was a study that shows that. But yeah, you can support this with details. For instance, for oral health, you could say, I remember a time when my breath smelled really bad and I started chewing gum and suddenly my breath smelled awesome, or something like that. Maybe as a story from your own life to sort of support that oral health one if you want it. So the most important thing to focus on is your point. This is a school rule that should be changed. We should be allowed to chew gum. Why? Because it helps us focus, helps keep our mouth clean, and it keeps us from talking. 1, 2, 3, conclusion. In conclusion, gum is a valuable, chewing gum is valuable to students and should not be banned. So it's really quite simple, and you don't need to take a whole lot of time thinking about, this is really hard prompt, I can't think of a school rule that should be changed. I'm sure that you have plenty of ideas. Now, are there any questions that you have about prompts or responding to prompts?
Nobody has a question. Tell you, the essays I get don't look like that. How could you make sure, Adora, that you're answering the prompt?
Well, one thing that's definitely a good idea to do, so when I see a prompt, I read it a couple times before I start writing down my idea. But the best thing to do is probably look at what the main point of the prompt is. What is the main thing that they're asking for? And the main thing that they're asking for is a school rule that should be changed. When you get, and just looking at some of the other prompts, it's fairly easy to identify. Let's see. Okay, suppose Congress wants to make a new national holiday honoring an important person. Choose a person or event you would like to honor. Write an essay to convince Congress to accept your choice. So right here, the big topic is who's the person that should be honored. It's pretty easy to, when you read the prompt, spot the main thing that they want to talk about. So just to stay on topic, then I might write that down and then think of, I would answer the question. So the person I think should be honored is Eleanor Roosevelt. And then I think of supporting details. So don't just really quickly read through the prompt and then say, okay, I got it, and start outlining, and then you look back and realize, oh, wait a second, they wanted me to talk about my role model, not modeling in clay or something like that. So read through it carefully and understand what the purpose is. Okay.
Dora, I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question for you. How important is it to make sure you do the pre-writing phase and maybe organize your thoughts before you start writing?
I would say pre-writing is fairly important when you're writing for a prompt, because part of what you're grading on is not only ideas and content, word choice and all that, but also how well it's organized. So for me, I don't always go all out and do a web, but I definitely, before I start writing a paragraph, I would probably do an outline. For instance, for the gum, if you just started writing and you said, well, there's a lot of school rules that should be changed, gum is one of them, you might get kind of stuck, and you might not be very well organized. But by making a quick outline beforehand, or even doing a web if you want, then you know where your ideas are going. You know what order they're going to be in, and what example you might use to support it. So pre-writing can help you organize your ideas pretty well.
How many of you are doing that before you're writing? Coming up with your thoughts and making a little light outline?
How many of you do that if I don't make you do that?
Sometimes.
Once in a while.
Okay, well, another thing is that, sorry to interrupt, it's a little delayed, but another thing is that, let's say I just start writing. Okay, so I have my girls and boys often enjoy playing the same sport. Some people believe that girls and boys should play on the same team. What is your opinion on this issue? Write an essay, support it with convincing reasons. So, okay, I kind of get it. It's about should girls and boys be like on co-ed teams for more sports. So I'm thinking girls and boys should be on co-ed teams because it builds teamwork between, do you see, I'm kind of like, I'm not too bad at thinking of reasons on the fly, but I'm a little bit stuck here. So by making an outline beforehand, I can say, okay, girls, I have my main point. Girls and boys should play on co-ed teams. Point number 1 would be this, point number 2 would be this, and that gives me time to think about what are my reasons. I can erase them or rewrite them without having to worry about, oh, well, I've already started writing. And yeah, so an outline is really good because if you just start writing, then you might not want to take something out, and it's harder to erase things and rewrite it. So make an outline first, and it might be more helpful in the long run. Okay, well, I really enjoyed talking to you guys, and I hope that you have, even if your face isn't happy face when you think of prompts, I'm hoping it won't be, because one thing that's really not attractive, and for the second thing, good attitude helps, I'm sure, when it comes to responding. So just remember to stay on topic, support your ideas, and try to really extend your reasons. You know, support your main idea with as many reasons as you can think of, as long as it helps you make a strong argument. Because if you just write one sentence without any reasons, just as your parents wouldn't buy you the video game, or just as your principal wouldn't listen to your, oh, we should be allowed to chew gum, you want to support it with details. So thank you very much, and I hope you all have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.